Welcome back to Dead Pine Archives. My name is Dan, and I'm your host, and I have 3 co-hosts today. Neil, Kelly, and our new co-host, Zachary.
Hello.
You guys can also say hello.
Good.
Hello.
Hi.
Before we start on our story, I figured that, Zach, you can tell us why you're here.
I really wanted to be a part of this. I like to be a part of things.
We also do have a 5th co-host today. Her name is Juniper. She is 3.5 months old at this point.
Yeah.
And she had a lot to say about that.
Yeah, she also wanted her intro. She also loves spooky stuff. You know, big fan of the podcast for the first 6 episodes. So
Yeah. She's
listen
really big
from
on
her
the
room.
hide and seek, peekaboo.
Have you been a fan of this for longer in your life than anybody else? Perhaps.
She's just making faces at this point.
Everything's a tulpa when you don't have object permanence.
Baby development jokes are funny.
Baby.
Hilarious. Oh, here we already go. That's your intro. That's cool.
Yep.
Excited to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I guess we'll get right into the story.
What do we got today?
Today I'm going over a story, and the name of this one is Little Mary.
Little
Little.
lamb?
You'd think.
Did she have a little lamb?
No.
Did she have a big lamb?
No.
Was she on the lamb?
No.
Does she eat lamb chops?
No.
Okay.
I don't think.
Did she?
Well, you know what? Honestly, she might have.
Good to know. Good to know.
Nailed it.
So I'm going to actually start a little bit further back than her, just so we get, I don't know, all the information that I found. I would like to talk about it.
All right, let's make it happen.
All right. So we are in Jackson, Michigan.
That's where the jail is.
I didn't know that, but yeah, it probably, yeah.
It
is.
It is there.
I think it's actually a prison,
Well.
not a jail, but
I don't know the difference, so.
I think jails are more local, where prisons are that's where you go for a long time.
Yeah, because you get arrested and you go to
industrial complex.
you go to jail. It's overnight or until you get processed or something.
Right.
And then prison is usually when you get sentenced.
That's fair. Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think you can stay longer at some jails depending on the size, because Macomb County has a big jail that they keep people there for a while. But I think if you're going for the long haul, you're going to prison.
Anyways, that has literally nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But
Little
good
Mary
to
wasn't
know.
in jail?
She was not. Anyways, so in Jackson, Michigan, in about 1841, a man named Moses Archibald McNaughton?
Archie McNaughty.
Okay, I was going to say several jokes about being a McNaughty, but anyways, he moved into town. He was a pioneer and a leader of the community, but he was also a doctor, a mayor, a real estate developer, and a railroad entrepreneur in different parts of his life. In the 1800s. So what, he lived to 50 and he had these many jobs?
Right.
What are the qualifications?
Nothing. In the 1800s, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he was like, I own a scalpel. I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor now.
And now I make railroads.
And now I'm a railroad man.
Junie's found all of this very funny, just to let everyone know. She is smiling up a storm.
She do be squirming.
She do be squirming. Yeah, so he moved into town. He was all these things. He got rich really fast. And then he got married and began his family in 1848. He built a gigantic mansion on West Trail Street that was then later used for the American Legion Hall before being bulldozed to create the medical center that is there today. Now, he is the grandfather of our ghost for today's story. And this story doesn't actually have a lot to do with him, but there were just a few things that I wanted to mention. First thing is, the house originally cost $70,000 to build, which is equal to around $2.8 million now.
Man, inflation, am I right?
Yeah. I think the whole point was that it was just a lot of money. Oh my gosh. Anyways.
I'm still trying to figure out the sound pad. That's what I was looking for.
Nailed it.
But anyway, so he built this house and it's basically the same as like 2.8 million right now. Okay, if I did the math right. And it included underground tunnel system that was actually rumored to be part of the Underground Railroad. So they did talk about how like it could have been that, but there's also a chance that it was just built for like airflow or like other random reasons. But the reason they thought it was built for the Underground Railroad is because Moses Archibald
Archie McNaughty.
Love him.
pulled a quote stint, which they have it written like that on all the things I found, in the Senate of 1853, fighting to end slavery.
Oh.
I was shocked because he's rich,
Yeah.
and I was like, what?
Good on you, Moses Archie McNaughty.
Yeah, he was a well-known and outspoken abolitionist. And as for what the stint is, it doesn't really say. It was just that he represented the 12th district in 1853 on the free soil ticket, which was an organized thing to stop slavery. So it's not like he went in there and like made a prank or something. I don't know why they're calling that a stint, but like, you know.
It may have been cooler if he played a prank, but I'll allow it.
I think it's pretty cool to end slavery, Zachary.
It is. Yes. Do not think that was an argument against
But it'd be
it.
cool.
Zach's argument was not pro-slavery, anti-whoopee cushion.
It was actually saying that to end slavery, it'd be better to do it with a prank.
Yeah, it's cool that he ended slavery, that he helped to, end slavery, but it would have been a lot funnier if he just pranked them.
At the same time. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Anyways, he had a son, and that is Mary's father, Robert. Robert was also a partner in the family business, and he raised his family in the mansion in a mansion on Blackstone Street. Just a little so this whole town, they're the big family of the town. Now our actual story starts in 1892 when 7-year-old Mary McNaughton, Moses's granddaughter, fled Jackson, Michigan with her mother and sisters, which were Edith, Ruth, and Helen, from a disastrous typhoid fever outbreak. So they left Jackson because there was a whole thing.
Ooh.
And then we had talked about typhoid, I think, before, and I kind of was like, I actually don't know what typhoid fever is. So I looked it up. It is a bacterial infection that's caused by salmonella
Ooh.
bacteria. Yeah. Young Mary, unfortunately, was stricken with peritonitis, most likely from a ruptured appendix, and she did die in July 18th, 1892.
Wait.
At 7.
Is peritonitis...
It is like the it's
appendicitis?
okay.
Yeah.
So what that is that it's a redness and swelling inflammation, basically, of the lining in your belly or abdomen. Because I also made a note on that so I could explain it. So they think it was caused because of a ruptured appendix.
Weird. I didn't even know that was a comorbidity that could happen.
Yeah, I don't really know, but that is what all the sources said.
I'll do you one
Regina-
better. I've never heard the term comorbidity before.
Oh, I was skimming right over that. My eyes glazed over and everything.
I had no idea. Okay. So she was 7.
They
She-
left to avoid typhoid, and then she died
dodged
anyways.
typhoid and then died from peritonitis, or
Yeah.
caused possibly by an appendix bursting.
Yes.
Okay. Bummer for Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it sucked.
Sorry about your life, Mary. 5 big booms.
No.
Boom.
No, we're not. Don't. Yeah. So sadly, she, passed. The family returned to Jackson to bury the child in a remote plot that was called Oak Cemetery. Mary's grandfather, Moses, had spent a lot of money to lay out the cemetery, which the name did change later to Oakdale Cemetery and is now a privately owned memorial park called Hillcrest. But Mary's death is not recorded in the Jackson County building, but it is in the dusty ledger of the Old City Health Department. And that leads to some spooky stuff now.
Wait, so it's not in the official city records, but
Yeah.
it's in a health department ledger?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't
Why?
know.
All right.
This is what they said. That technically it's not in the records of the city, but it's in the records of the medical.
What did the census say?
That her family owns this town. This is her town.
Well, that's happens. They were often with so many records where they're just like, I don't know, it's dead.
Yeah, but they did. A lot of these idiots we talk about
Aren't anyone of note?
Exactly.
Three Fingers Riley didn't run America, did he?
and he was well kept in the records of
Well,
yeah. People,
Riley.
do people know Riley's name?
I do not know Riley's name.
I was gonna say
Didn't want to chime in until it was the right time, but
Listen to episode
3.
I'm embarrassed. Did not do my research.
yeah, you should probably listen.
That's actually on my plan for tomorrow.
Well, that's fine. So in the legend, it starts that Mary's mother, she woke up screaming one night, completely distraught, like unconsolable. She was adamant that they had made a grave mistake and that they had buried little Mary when she was still alive.
It's a common thing.
It is, but she was terrified of it.
Was this in the era of the bells? Those like grave bells?
I don't think so.
Probably not. This feels too modern.
Well, wait. When did Mary die?
1890 something?
So we're probably just getting out of that era.
Yeah, I feel like that was actually
Yeah,
even
1890.
more like 1700.
Yeah, well, so her mother was inconsolable. She repeatedly insisted that her little girl was buried alive to the point that the only way to stop her hysteria was to go to the grave, dig it up, and uncover the coffin.
Oof.
What was seen only fueled her nightmares to come. Inside the coffin was little Mary, who was confirmed dead again, but there were scratches that lined the coffin lid,
Oh, don't like that.
confirming Mary's worst fears, that they had indeed buried their little girl alive.
All right. So wait, where's the record of this?
I'm getting to that.
Okay. All right, because this is Fall of the House. This is Fall of the House of Usher. It's Poe.
Well, this
right?
came out like, well, yeah, never mind. Yeah, you said, yeah. I was thinking the TV show, and I was like, this came out a lot earlier.
TV show is
But
named
yeah,
after.
Poe. Yeah, no, I did the math in my head.
You know, I feel like they should, well, depending, the grave bells and whatnot were still around. They just weren't as widely
Used.
used. There was, fun fact, sorry, not to derail, a modern safety coffin was patented by a man in 1995. So, like, they did modernize a little bit. It came with a
19 or 18?
1995, and it came with a emergency alarm, intercom system, a torch, and a heart monitor.
Help me! I'm buried and I can't get up.
First of all, at that point,
Not to be a bother, but
how do you nowadays? Nowadays, it'd be so hard to bury someone alive because you embalm them. I know some of them you don't, but like for the most part, like they're gonna kill you if you're not already dead.
I can't afford a living heart monitor, much less a
dead
afterlife one.
Yeah, no, there was talk of a safety measure that came out a few years after this thing that was like a weird tube that was like, I don't know, in there, and if you moved even a little bit, it would release something, and basically it would just like push the whole coffin open or something, which is insane because there's dirt and everything. So I don't know how this would have worked. I didn't hear.
Funniest,
I thought it was weird.
spring-loaded Acme ass thing I've ever heard of in my life.
The body flung out it.
Yeah, the body flung out it.
There was a quote on 107.7 WRKR's website. There was like 2 or 3 different radio stations that talked about this at some point. So I found a lot of stuff on there. While it was in quotation marks and was like formatted to look like a quote, there was no name or source attached to it. So I don't know where they got this. But it says, as the lid was removed to their horror. Yeah, Jimmy? Was it spooky?
She loves lid lore.
She loves lid.
Loves lid lore.
All right, so the quote is, as the lid was removed, to their horror, there before them were deep and desperate scratch marks gouged into the lid of the coffin. Mary lay there in true rigor mortis, with her face twisted in agony and her little hands bloodied and worn raw, proving that her mother's worst fears were weird. Oh my God. Mother's first fears were real. Little Mary had indeed been mistaken. Oh my God, I am going to start over one more time.
Yeah.
As the lid was removed, to their horror, there before them were deep and desperate scratch marks gouged into the lid of the coffin. Mary lay there in true rigor mortis, with her face twisted in agony and her little hands bloodied and worn raw, proving that her mother's worst fears were real. Little Mary had indeed been mistakenly buried alive, and despite her feeble attempts to escape her fate, she had suffocated in that casket shortly after being put into the earth.
Those scratch marks could have been anybody, though.
I mean, yeah, if I were like a grave digger, I would just like, wait, hang on. Just to give them a real scare if they take her out. No, I remember that was always one of my greatest fears when I was a kid, was being buried alive or suffocating, something in that way, because of 1999 cinematic classic, The Mummy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, are we sure she wasn't just buried with a squirrel? Like a squirrel hopped in and then was like, oh shit, and tried to scratch its tail.
A tiny body?
And her fingers were bloody because the squirrel was hungry.
Yeah. I mean, when I get hungry, I eat people's fingers. That was so weird to say.
Yeah, it was. It was real weird.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Army Hammer over here.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Army Hammer again.
That mustache.
There are there are no actual records that say her coffin has ever been taken out. And her family left the area in like 1906. And it was just because her father was trying to do something with Buick and it wasn't working. So he moved to New York or something. Whatever.
That's not a Buick.
But they did find her, like one of her siblings in like the 1970s or something. I don't know how they were still alive, but they were. And they one newspaper asked them about the story, and they were like, no, that's stupid. That never happened. So
Imagine if it did happen and they were just like, no, that's stupid.
I'm tired.
My sister's stupid.
I am tired of Mary taking all the attention.
Oh, Mary gets buried alive once and now nobody cares about my accomplishments. I'm a doctor.
So was your grandfather. And he also did so much more.
Yes, but do you own a railroad?
I
have no-
three.
And you're a
Out of the
doctor?
game Monopoly.
Yeah, maybe not.
Fine, whatever. So that's basically that. Her hauntings is that if you're in the cemetery, you can hear scratching and a little girl crying, usually from inside the ground. And then sometimes you can see her ghost kind of like hanging out above her coffin grave area.
Well, that's unsettling, right? Yeah, I don't want to see 7-year-old ghost girl hanging out.
No, not really.
How much would it blow the... Well, that wouldn't really work out for any dead person in modern times. I was going to say, how much would it blow if you came back as a ghost, but you couldn't get out of the coffin? That would be everybody. You would just walk through a cemetery at night and just hear, oh, damn it.
I'm so freaking bored.
Why do they sound like that, Neil?
Because they're 7.
Yeah.
I'm so freaking bored.
What's up with your boy? You and the little ghost girl comes up to you. You got any games on your phone?
She deserves all the game. And there's not much more to it. Just, pretty basic. I did find on a different radio station website, 99WFMK.com, and they published this story from John Robinson. He published it. So I assume this is his story since it talks in first person.
Quick question. Why are they all like 99.7 like it's a radio station, but it's a website?
Because I'm pretty sure it's the radio station. For yeah, that's why I said, the radio station. That's okay. That's okay.
Long deal.
It happened.
How do radio go on internet?
It doesn't work that way. It's radio, not internet.
But if radio on computer, then who was phone?
I was sorry to a baby.
No, she wasn't. So this thing that he posted actually was posted twice, once in 2015 and then once like a year ago. And they are basically the same thing, just written slightly different. Just being like, oh, this happened. And I think they post it usually in October because it's, a story to tell. But I did think it was ridiculous. So the website, the URL is the 99wfmk.com/Mary Scratchmas /
Nice it.
I saw that and I was like, what?
Mary Scratchman.
Time to get that from you.
Like, why couldn't they just use her name?
Guess what? We're going to be bringing that back right around once December hits. Y'all are going to be hearing about Mary Scratchmas.
Dude, that's what I was waiting for, that it's like actually part of the radio station's promo. It's like, in honor of Mary this month, we're celebrating Scratchmas all month long.
Here's Christmas shoes.
So why, like,
So mean.
if they were gonna do that and you were gonna have like an advent calendar, do you have to scratch through each door?
Sniff. It only smells like death.
I was going to say, but the advent calendar is shaped like a coffin.
So I'm gonna read the post from John Robinson from his like actual experience, and it's not super long. Okay, now here's my story. Many years ago, I, like many others, had to go there after midnight and find out if all this stuff was true myself. I went there with 2 others. We discovered the site of her original burial and then proceeded to wander around some more. Then, as we walked by a few flat gravestones, I heard a scratching sound coming from the ground.
Scratching sound.
Oh, that's scratching?
I thought it was her.
Do you?
I was very confused because I thought it was this way. It wasn't.
They're scratching away from the coffin, and it sounded like...
It was scratching coming from the coffin.
Why are we now a radio station?
Mary Scratchmas.
Breaker. Oh, I'm gonna sue. I shined my flashlight down in the sound's direction, but saw nothing. The scratching sound continued, and I stooped down to look closer at the flat, unmarked gravestone from which the sound was coming from. Was there a leaf blowing across it? No. Was some sort of bug crawling across it? No. I was looking straight at this stone while the scratching continued. Where is this coming from? I kept asking the other 2. I got down on my hands and knees and put my face inches from the stone. That was in all caps.
There's a 0% chance I ever sit there and put my face to a stone that clearly has a grave underneath it.
I also feel like whoever's... What was this guy's name?
John?
John? I feel like John's got to be embellishing a little bit because the way he's writing the story is like, was it a leaf? No. Was it a bug crawler? No, I checked for bugs. Let me tell you, I know bugs.
See, I took it as like an elementary school teacher, like reading a story. Was it a bug? No. Was it a leaf? No. I'm sorry, there's a baby in the room.
No, honestly, I mean, and that's a great thing, but I love how he's like, I thought of everything. Was it someone dancing atop, like a little tiny leprechaun man, dancing his way across the unmarked headstone? No.
Was it my Uncle Herbert? No.
The only logical explanation is that there's a dead child's ghost in this.
Also, is her gravestone unmarked?
It says her name, but it doesn't say like year or anything to it. Like it's just her name.
That's still marked, which is still like weird. Again, family owns the town.
So the family has like a huge pillar thing that like says it's the family. And I don't know if everyone else's have dates or not. I saw a picture of hers and it just says her name. Like not even last name, it just says Mary.
Well, that's not unmarked.
That could literally just says Mary.
It just says Mary.
It could just be some family with the last name Mary.
Who is she?
No, I mean it's in the cemetery that her grandfather like bought. So
Well, there better never be another Mary in that bloodline.
which is funny because I think her mom's name was Mary. Or she has an aunt named Mary.
Who is she?
Which one had to go?
Not the one that died.
Yeah, all of them are still alive.
Not the child.
So where I had left off with him, he said that his face was inches from the stone and saw absolutely nothing as the scratching sound continued. It was a definite scratching noise, and we never determined the source. We saw nothing. It was one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me, and it occurred around Halloween time a few decades ago. So they did this 20, 40 fucking years ago or some shit.
And he's just now like,
Well, I think he like retells it every so often. He's similar. I don't know if he works.
I got a story.
I don't know if he like it works for this radio station or if he just sometimes writes stuff for them or if he wrote this one story and they just kind of publish it every few years around Halloween. Like I'm not sure.
Let's bring in old Uncle John to tell you a tale.
This cemetery was started by Robert McNaughton, who was her dad, and is a very beautiful spot, but it seems to be uncared for. There are a number of unmarked graves, some of which seem to have attention
Deficit disorder.
I immediately thought of.
Oh, it just some of which seem to get attention as there are flowers there every so often. The cemetery is not in use now, except once in a while, I guess people will go. Don't know where it's written.
Probably our use is in no more bodies are being buried there.
They're at
Yeah.
city.
Yeah. So is this the same?
Well,
one
no, I
that
guess it says the cemetery is not used now, except now and then on one of the old lots. I don't know why it's written like this. This is like a weird archived old doodad.
Interesting. Is this the same cemetery that changed names 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is now the
Hillcrest
Hillcrest
Memorial Park.
Oak Hill Farmley.
It was like Oakdale, and then it was
When did it? I'm sorry. I know that you said it already. When did it change to Hillcrest?
1998.
Oh, okay.
I literally have it in my note right here, and I did not say it before, but
No, you're good. There's a cemetery. There's a really old cemetery that's Oak something, and I was just like, "Is this the same bitch?" But I literally
is it in
read
Jacksonville?
We'll come back to that.
We could go to this.
Yeah, we
I
can.
didn't realize.
Actually, so far we've been like, oh, we gotta go to this. So I really want to go to the Holly Hotel, which we just posted about, but they are currently closed.
We go get a tattoo and then we go. That's
What?
where my tattoo was in Jackson.
Oh no, I was talking about the Holly Hotel, but we can go to the cemetery. Yeah.
Tattoo and then cemetery.
Was it the leg one?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nope, the one I was thinking of was in Pontiac. Carry on.
Oh, that one's really cool.
Go.
I
Love it there.
I think the last time I was there, we went to Erebus like the weekend before Halloween, and then went into the cemetery after hours when we weren't supposed to, and just ran around for a bit.
We got them, boys. Book them.
So when I went there, I just went there for a day out because I was just out on that side of town, and I was running some errands. And then on the way out of town, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop in there. It's really pretty." I went in and I parked behind this guy that got out, and he was in old-timey dress, and I was like,
I remember the story.
"That's probably nothing." And then I just went and walked.
You just saw a ghost.
Well, he got out, and I was just like, all right. So then I walked around for a bit, and then I got back to my car like an hour later, and as I was getting ready to leave, I saw a huge crowd of people by the front of the cemetery, and I was like,
It was Thomas Wayne, wasn't it?
no, there were apparently reenactments and guided tours going on that people had paid to get into the cemetery to go to, and I didn't know about it. So I was trying to leave, and I was stuck because in front of my car was a huge crowd of people going on a tour, and I was just like,
What were they reenacting?
People dying.
like historical people of significance were like dotted around at different graves giving information, and I was just like,
You know, that actually kind of happened when Neil and I and our family, mine and Zachary, because he didn't go, when we went to the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. It's really cool to walk around. It's a big one. I'm going to take Kelly there one day. I'll make her happy. But they had tours going on because there's a lot of famous people and a lot of like, history stuff. And I remember being at one where there was a lantern and it like, I don't know, there was like a whole bunch of history about it. And this tour guide was like there talking. And I was like, I'm just looking at the grave that I came to visit. And now I am listening to all the history of it. And then I started to walk, but then they started to walk the same way. And I was like, I got to get out of here. They're going to think that I'm stealing knowledge. But yeah.
and thank you for coming to the Dead Pine Cemetery talk.
That's great, though.
Yeah.
It's just, honestly, I love the name so much for all our the Dead Pine Hotel, the Dead Pine Cemetery. We're going to buy a town, man.
That's it.
Buy a
Dead
town.
Pine Grove.
Yes.
Yes.
McNaughton's have a very fine monument in the back part of the cemetery. And I did see something that a lot of it was like, oh, they don't do tours anymore. And then there were some things that were like, well, once in a while, if you like request a tour, they'll give you a tour. So I don't really know if you can or you can't go, but it's supposed to be kind of haunted. So
Couldn't hurt to ask.
true. Oh, and then I had forgotten to say earlier,
It would be cool to check out because I want to know for myself that it was not a leaf. It was not a bug.
I put my face on the stone.
I will lick that stone to find out if there are bugs or leaves
limestone?
on it.
I will watch you lick that.
It's our very stupid version of the Blarney Stone.
I don't know.
What up? My name's Neil. Welcome to Jackass. I'm gonna lick this knife now.
I assume that's it. There was a whole thing that like it was open to the public for a long time, but kids like to go there to vandalize the gravestone a lot. So
Kids.
they restricted access and like blocked it off basically, so they can't do that anymore.
Sure, for sure.
Which I was like, yeah, go be scared, but like don't break shit. Listen, you're a kid, I get it. You gotta go and be dumb and stupid, but at least be a little bit respectful. That's it. If you're just borderline stupid, then you're good. I'll let you get away with anything. This thing starts breaking shit, and then I'm like, well, I can't afford to fix this, so now we have a problem.
Spirit is stored in the stone. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to tag gravestones, just use chalk or something that's not permanent.
That's not hardcore. I mean, it solves acid reflux.
My sister.
I drew on it with Tums.
Same purpose. Same purpose.
God, I feel like you're gonna quote Charlie. I just draw better with Tums, but I eat the chalk to, help my tummy. Zach and I's sister, Jennifer, actually used to go around town and they were tagging where we lived, but it was with chalk. So they would just draw like a dinosaur on the side of a building and then run off.
I was gonna say, do I have to call the police?
No, it was definitely totally fine. I don't know if they really did many places. I just remember it being on the side of Little Caesars for a second. It was a cute dinosaur. It was nothing bad, and it washed away, so it was fine. Yeah, I'm not outing anyone.
No harm, no foul.
That was
And
just
she didn't do
Also,
it.
like 15 years ago. So
Yeah, when is it past the date where you can get in trouble with it?
30 years.
Statute of limitations on chalk drawings is about, it's about 4 hours, I think.
not in chalk then.
Rudy's got the chalk. No, is that?
Is his name? Yeah. Copyright.
Well, I think it's fine if I sing it because it's incorrect.
Cut that. Cut that.
You'll be hearing from Mr. Tabooty's lawyer.
I didn't know you knew the show, and for you to know the last name.
His name is Rudy Tabooty.
That is the character's name. I knew it was Rudy. I didn't know the Sabuti. Sally's like an elephant. They never forget.
You know, classic 90s stuff when you used to go with your sibling and they just whip him against a tree.
Yeah, Zach, do you remember classic 90s?
I don't think I was ever whipped against a tree.
You know, when you if you put like Ben in a sleeping bag and then you just whip him against a tree.
I think neither when you used to watch Ben just get bodied by a horse.
I thought you meant you put someone against a tree and whipped them.
No, something far funnier.
I don't know why they love this bit, but they love it.
Classic 90s or Petey got kicked in the head by a horse.
That boy Petey never rode by any horses ever again.
No, because it killed him.
Yeah.
Right in the ground.
That and alligators, that was just his natural enemy.
Weirdly enough, yeah. Yeah. It was
We've
a
gone
reptile.
off a rail. Please,
Yes, we
Dan,
have.
I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That's the story that I had for today.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. To surmise what we've covered, right? So Mary's grandfather was
Basically built the town.
yes. Mary was 7. She fled with her mother, Jackson, when there was a typhoid outbreak, and then essentially got appendicitis and complications therefrom and died.
Yeah.
And then she's buried. Super sad. Mom loses it a little bit, is like, no, she's still alive in the ground. And the story goes that they, to appease her mother, dig her up. Mother sees her dead child, but then also sees that she was trying to claw her way out. And then like 40 years later, a sibling, a brother,
I think.
goes on a radio station is like, that never fucking happened.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a whole bunch said. They just quoted him saying it was ridiculous.
Dude.
Which I don't know, because it could be. That was a ridiculous time.
Dude, if I were Mary's mom and that whole thing was actually true, y'all couldn't tell me fucking nothing for the rest of my life. I was right about the worst possible thing.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Again, there is no record that says they actually dug her up or that the mother actually hadn't, like, saying that
She
happened.
staged the whole thing. It was her claw marks the whole time. And she built a tunnel and went under the ground into the...
She didn't scratch it before they brought it down. She had to do it in the ground.
There wouldn't have been time to do that. She made a tunnel underground into the casket, coffin, whatever, clawed it up, swam out, closed it up.
What did she do? Drill holes in the bottom of the coffin and then stick her
I was just gonna say, like, on either side of the corpse.
She went from the side where her head was, and she went... And that was...
How weird that when they pulled it up, there was no hole in the coffin.
She fixed it.
She's elaborate.
Sorry, I forgot that Mary's mother was a secret underground carpenter and lived under.
Sorry, you were the father was a mayor and a candlestick.
that was the grandpa.
The grandpa was a candlestick.
Mary's mom was a mole man.
She was an underground carpenter.
So anyways, the brother goes on the radio like 40 years later. It's like, that's ridiculous. And to your point, yes, it was a ridiculous time. I feel like the late 1800s and everything we've covered just so far on this podcast.
Well, and again, like, he was probably, I don't know how old he was when Mary died. And it only really listed her sisters, because I think only her sisters and her mom left town for the typhoid thing. But early 1890s. And then this guy was like 1970s. So this is like an 80-year-old man at minimum. And he's like, I remember it like it was yesterday. Ridiculous.
Because, and I don't know if this will ring true with any of our listeners, but we're talking about a 7-year-old named Mary escaping typhoid. And the name Typhoid Mary popped into my head. And I was like, wait a second.
Is this where we get the term?
I don't know what that is.
It is not. It is
I
not.
was going to say it wasn't attached to anything I read.
So Mary Mallon, and she was born in 1869, so like around the same time, but she was an Irish-born American cook. It says she died on North Brother Island, New York, but she was believed to have infected between 51 and 122 people with typhoid.
That is a massive difference.
Because she's where we get the term.
And that's where we get the term. So
Man,
not this Mary, but okay.
Yeah, not this 7-year-old. She wasn't a cook in New York and infected up to 120 people.
Running around with her chef's hat, just touching everybody like children will.
She's learning to make a grilled cheese. Does anybody want one?
Does anybody want grilled cheese?
Just open mouth coughing. When you say typhoid, it makes me think of typhoon. I think of her just spinning in a circle, creating her little vortex. Roller coaster typhoid.
A typhoid typhoon.
A typhoid.
You know how-
Typhoid tower.
You know when they when they do like the like shark tornado or whatever, or hurricane shark movies. Tornado, yeah, it's that, but with typhoid.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a bunch of Marys and so sharks.
Just 7-year-old.
Hi, my name's Mary.
Just that picture of that cat with, doing the child's cough. Yeah.
All right, so the brother comes on in like the 70s, this 80-year-old man who's like, that's bullshit. And then we got John, who just like chimes in and is like, no, there were no leaves. There were no bugs. I know what I heard. It was a scratchy sound in the child underground.
And he didn't even try to save him.
Didn't.
He was just like, yep, that's a ghost sound.
He's like, yep, that's a ghost. That for me could not be anything else. I'm going to leave now. Goodbye, ghost.
I looked for leaves.
I looked for bugs.
I looked for bugs. But also I was like, what kind of bug makes scratching noises?
Right.
Like,
Those giant African centipedes?
do they?
Yeah, because their legs are the size of knives.
Well, you'd see that, I guess, easily, but
Listen, I'm just saying, if there's any bug that I think of that makes a scratching noise, it would either be that or like termites.
oh, I guess, all right, well, maybe I'm wrong on that one then. It could have been a bug.
Yeah, but there were.
How often are you outside? You hear about
Stone, and suddenly a centipede comes along. Somebody is an African instead of.
Well, yeah, I know
They're
there's
very much not in Africa right now.
Well, yes, of course. But also, if you saw a centipede the size of a full fucking python,
I would throw up, and I have.
Here's the thing too, though, that I have always
You have seen one the size of a python, or you have thrown up.
Both.
weirdly enough, same time.
It was just the world's smallest place.
No, my biggest fear is that there's going to be some dangerous animal that's out in the world, and then for some reason it's in Michigan. That's why I'm scared of lakes. And I was proven correct to have this fear because they did just find an alligator or a little crocodile, I'm not sure which one, in the Detroit River. It was on Belle Isle.
That's the least surprising thing ever. People keep little.
No, I know. And they just toss them in there when they don't want to deal with them anymore. But what is stopping me from getting attacked?
The winter?
By a little alligator in the summer. I was always also scared of bull sharks because they can survive in fresh water for a short amount of time. And everyone's always like, oh, Jen, that's ridiculous. It'll never happen. I'm like, okay, but what if someone had one and they dropped it in the lake the second I decided to go into the
I
lake?
don't go waist deep in water anymore.
Hi, I'm Ashton Kutcher, armed defunct. I'm going to play a hilarious prank on the people of Michigan. It just starts throwing freshwater sharks into the lake.
Listen,
no one will see it coming.
It is irrational. Mostly irrational. But it's just always been the thing where I'm like, I know logically there's not much in lakes that can hurt me. I assume someone's going to put something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have you seen muskie? Those.
Oh, yeah. They're
terrifying.
Yeah, but they're not really going to fuck with you. Do they? I'm pretty sure everything in lakes are pretty chill. Well, it also changes from the Great Lakes to other lakes in the area, because usually the other lakes you got your bluegills and your pumpkin seed bellies or whatever.
No, it was just that John was like, it's not a bug. It's not a.
Well, John, we don't know because we weren't there, and I didn't put my head against a stone. So how am I supposed to know?
But we will, and we'll report back on a future episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
I waited way too long to say something.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so let's.
Yes.
Anyway, you guys ever thought
Yes.
Halfway through the next story. Yes.
Well, thank you for all the research you did, Dan.
Oh yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's sad, but it was fun. The research part, and yeah, but that's it for this story. Little Mary, sadly, is a ghost now. But that's the end of this episode, and I want to thank everyone for listening. And if you guys can leave us a rating, that is the best way to support us. All our episodes come out on whatever you are currently using to listen to us, so keep on that. Follow us on Instagram.
Tag Mary Scratchmas.
Oh, no.
So let's get that going. Every comment that you put on any of our posts, please just add that to it. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. I mean, yeah. And I think that's it. I think that's all we got today. All right. Well, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.